It's Rita Houston with you. So psyched to welcome Ivy into Studio A. I know many of you folks are familiar with their breezy, worldly sounds. And of course, Ivy, the New York City-based trio made up of Adam Schlesinger, Andy Chase, and Dominique Durand. And such an interesting story of how the band got together and how they came to make this music that seems in some ways to be rooted in a whole kind of club sensibility, but then has a whole singer-songwriter vibe about it. So psyched to welcome Ivy into Studio A today. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Adam Schlesinger, you were, at the time, reading the Village Voice music section looking for a band, and I thought, well, that's kind of funny. That here's an Academy Award nominated.
Well, it actually didn't quite happen in that order.
Okay.
Ivy got started before Fountains of Wayne did officially. I mean, Chris from Fountains of Wayne and I had been playing together since we were in college, so I had known him before. But Fountains of Wayne didn't exist when I met Andy and Dominique, and there was no Academy Award. There was nothing. There was just Ivy, and this was probably in maybe '93 or so, somewhere around there. And that's when we started playing together. And actually, at the time we met, Dominique was not even thinking about being in a band. It was just Andy was trying to start a band, I was trying to start a band, and then one day Andy convinced Dominique to try singing on a song he had written, and as soon as we heard her voice, we realized that that was way more interesting than the stuff we were trying to do. And that's how Ivy got started.
So you never sang before? I mean, really? You must have sung.
In the shower. And
You took a shower?
yeah, French actually do take showers sometimes. No, I mean, I've always loved music. Music was always part of my life. But being a singer or becoming a singer or being in a band was definitely not part of my plan in life. Andy was the one that just pushed me to do it. And he got me drunk one night and we went to the studio together. And for the first time in my life, I just sang a song. And it was crazy.
So the lesson here is alcohol does encourage creativity. That's the message we're trying to pass on to the kids.
Andy and Dominique, Tuesday, February 23rd, 2021.
So before we talk about Adam, I wanted to set up a little bit of context of how Andy and I met Adam. So we met him in '91 in New York City, and he was in a band with Chris Collingwood called Pinwheel at that time. And Andy was also in his own band. Anyway, the three of us got together, we did this little demo, and in a nutshell, we got extremely lucky and we got signed. And Adam, it was his first record deal, and this is something that he had been dreaming of since he graduated from college. The point of this story is to set up the mood of that time, which was so magical, and Adam was living his dream of just getting a record deal and his dream as a musical career. So it was a very, very exciting time. We were just like three little kids jumping on the street. I remember going to our lawyer to sign this contract. We actually have videos of that.
Ivy, even though after getting signed and making 8 or 9 albums together over a period of almost 20 years, Ivy always flew under the radar to the world, which was fine. But in the context of Adam Schlesinger and even myself and Dominique, Ivy was the rabbit's foot, the magical union between the three of us that really launched our careers, not just in Ivy, but Adam's career. Ivy was signed to Atlantic Records, and because of our relationship with Atlantic Records, Pinwheel got signed after that. They changed their name to Fountains of Wayne. Adam wrote Stacy's Mom, and that put Fountains of Wayne on the map. Adam and I then went into business together with James Iha from the Pumpkins and opened a recording studio. We started having children, Dominique and I, and Adam and his wife, and we took vacations together.
We live across the street from each other. We could wave to each other every morning before bringing the kids to school. We lived 9/11 together. We were living across the street, and when 9/11 happened,
me, you, and Adam were in the middle of working on the 20th Century Fox soundtrack for Shallow Hal.
We shared much more than just music. We shared life.
Yeah.
How's it going?
What?
How's it going?
That's a huge hit. See, I got this huge hit plug-in.
Yeah.
I don't want to show it on camera because it's...
The hit plug-in.
Yeah.
But you have to put it on the main bus, like over the whole mix.
Well, the thing is, the top 10 hit one was too expensive, so I just got the top 50.
Well, it's gonna chart at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was expensive enough.
Yeah. Okay. Keep up the good work.
Ready, freeze. Ah, you like dancing.
She smiled?
Let me put your cigarette and make sure it's...
What was that?
There's a fire starting.
In the trash can?
Yeah, and with a cigarette and it wasn't like...
Nice try. Well, all we need is another fire.
Slap me 10. Come on.
All right. See what's going on at the other end. Adam working on
She's still trying to get together. Lucy doesn't love you like you want her to. Some dreams don't come true. Lucy doesn't love.
listening at ear-splitting levels, as usual.
Mitch, hey, it's Adam. Yep. Now you don't want to read the end first. You're going to ruin it for yourself. Cat. Cat.
Yeah, datab. That's right. That's I think that's Arabic.
This is a dot top.
That's a datab.
What's this? Cow. She doesn't know what a cow is. She's fucking saying. What's that?
It's the first time I saw her scratch herself. She just went to...
She was like...
She went and scratched her knee.
She did?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
What's that? Maybe she has fleas. What's that?
Maybe you have fleas.
No, right. What's that? Cow? No.
1 year old.
1 year old. 1 year old. I think she wants to be a singer, not a guitar player. Okay, now we're going to play the solo from Freebird. Ready? Ready? Okay, this is going to take two hands.
I'm just documenting the things that have gone wrong today, from the chimney not working and our apartment almost going up in flames to the heat that's not on in our apartment.
No, warm, that's cashmere. That's the warmest thing. Cashmere?
No.
This is fine. This is...
What's the problem?
I don't like your sweaters. I'd like you to buy some new ones.
It's another nice, comfortable, warm afternoon in our apartment. It's like 30 below outside.
As successful as Adam got, Adam was always still Adam to us. We have a different perspective, like most people do when you grow up with somebody and that somebody becomes successful. You don't see them in the way the rest of the world has. We have a very unique perspective on the Adam Schlesinger that the rest of the world doesn't know.
Adam was incredibly passionate, obsessed with music. And it was intoxicating in a way. I mean, we were all passionate about music, but Adam had such a drive and a dedication. He would never, ever give up. So we were lucky to have our own recording studio. And so we could just go and live there for months at a time and make a record together. And literally, we lived there night and day. And he would get so excited about an idea and he would work on this specific idea, like an arpeggio, for instance, for hours and hours until for him it was perfect. He was very perfectionist. But it was always, I mean, sometimes it was very intense and kind of painful for all of us. But most of the time it was always done in such a high-spirited way and always, always for the love of music.
I remember going to Adam's house where he grew up in New Jersey to meet his parents for the first time. I remember hanging out with his parents. They were talking about how excited they were. You know, Adam's career was starting and Adam wasn't there. And Dominique and I, sitting in the patio talking to Adam's parents, we heard this piano. And it sounded like we were listening to the New York Philharmonic starting a Beethoven piece. And we went into the house following the sound of the music. And there was Adam at the piano in their living room where he grew up playing. It was a revelation for Dominique and I because we knew Adam was talented, but we never knew that Adam was actually talented on that level.
I remember Adam's mother listening to him and obviously so proud of him.
Bye bye, baby, don't be long.
He wasn't just a bass player, because that was his main instrument. Live, he played bass. But this guy was capable of playing on a whole nother level. We got to watch Adam play drums, bass, guitar, play the keyboards.
Becoming a producer.
Right. You know, Adam exploded creatively.
One thing I would like to add is also that he was incredibly ambitious and driven to success. He really wanted to be a successful artist. But at the same time, he was very dedicated to Ivy and very loyal and never gave up on it. But because it was something that was close to his heart, he always put a lot of time into it. And I think it's also because Ivy represented for him a little bit of his more sensitive side. With Ivy, he could express a little bit more his romantic side, more intimacy. He wrote these songs, which to me are very romantic, like Edge of the Ocean, Baker, While We're in Love, Worry About You, Hideaway, 4 in the Morning. All these songs are unusual. I mean, this is not something you would hear from Adam. Usually he loves to write songs in a very ironic way or more cynical, and this is much more earnest in a way for Adam. And I think he enjoyed that too. There was a part of Adam that was not as well known.
He was ambitious, very ambitious, but in a way that was intoxicating. We were lucky to have met him when we were just almost kids, and we sort of went on the ride with him steering the ship. But what we saw was, for people who didn't know him that well, he might have come across as being ambitious, right? And being ambitious is not always a positive thing. But he was actually surprisingly loyal. Adam could juggle so many balls in the air. He had the Ivy balls in the air. He had Fountains of Wayne balls in the air. He was managing to write films like That Thing You Do.
Producing bands, writing for artists. The reason also why Adam was so driven and ambitious, I think it was a fear of boredom. He was really scared of being bored. He didn't like that. So he always had to fill up his time to be involved in many things because boredom to him was intolerable. There was definitely a lot of power struggle with him. Even me and Adam, who were very close, oh God, we had so many terrible arguments together and came close to a physical fight on tour. It could be very contentious, so you could have this explosive argument, but an hour later it was all forgotten and we could move on very easily, and I love that about Adam.
It's not something to have an opinion about. It's not, Dominique. So what? So if he was playing, okay. You know what? Hey, can you just shut up for a minute? If John plays an arpeggio wrong, And suddenly, after 3 years, we remembered, oh, you know what? It's a little different. Then you know what? It'd be right for him to say, well, it's fucking stupid. That's the way it's like, no, let's just try it. I'm not saying it's going to do the show the old way. I'm saying let's just try it. It doesn't matter if you've been doing it for 3 fucking years. Fuck you. I mean, it just doesn't matter. It's just, why can't we just try it?
Because we went through that. We went through the exact same thing 3 years ago on tour. I was doing the same thing. We went through the same thing, and I tried to do it your way, and I could never do it because I have this melody in my head now. And it's like what I'm saying. It's like it's not like I don't want to try. Of course, I'm going to try, but I'm telling you, this is not going to happen because now I have it in my head. And I'm saying it's not a big deal. It's you, your obsession. You become like you're so obsessed about two fucking stupid things.
What do you think of the bridge in Undertale?
What I can't, it's not the bridge anyway.
The
it's
solo.
Okay?
Yeah, what do you think?
We had a fantastic solo and basically you ruined it.
Why?
Completely. And why? Because of your insecurities. Because you decided, oh, you know, you've been listening to it for 6 months, you think it's boring, so you want to add things, which is exactly what we're trying to avoid doing. But of course, you're like making the same mistakes all over again. It's like you never learn your
Wait,
lessons.
I don't understand though. What do you mean?
You never learn your lesson, never. As soon as you're insecure about a song, you think like you have to add things and you add things and you add things.
Well, you can throw your card down on it.
Pues hombre, para ver si compran y entonces me dan unos gramos.
Okay, one more time, that one. We'll go over to the left a little bit. I want to get one so you're blocking this Virgin Mary. It's just... Okay, so like sing it to the camera this time. Like kind of even lean in a little bit. Try to get the words right this time.
Fantastic.
Meaning like all the walking or whatever, that should be, or the movement should be slow motion. I really have a good feeling about it, I'm telling you. Trust me on this one, I know.
Perfect, I got that. What I have is Dominique telling Adam exactly what to do, as usual, and then talking about the angle, the bad angle.
No, because prohibido fumage.
He was super crazy stubborn, and that drove us crazy.
Anyone who's ever worked with Adam will definitely walk away with two feelings. One, that he is a force to be reckoned with, and two, that he is a pain in the ass.
But we couldn't stop loving him because his humor saved him, really, because he was merciless sometimes. But then he would crack a joke, and then we were like, okay, we still love you because you're fucking funny.
We had a dinner with a British singer-songwriter. We were talking about our backgrounds and our past, and the singer-songwriter was telling us that he grew up in a very religious home and with a father who was a bishop. A 1.5-second pause, and Adam said, oh, so your dad moves diagonally? That's Adam's brain.
It's been a very long and hard day for us today. You have no idea what happened.
Tell us about it.
All right, well, okay. The van broke down.
Okay, we slept till about 1. We had some bagels. Then we had to drive over an hour and a half to get here.
Fountain Wayne! That sucked.
I
pictures, Dominique?
They were great.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Dad, I told you not to talk during the show.
That's all right.
We're experimenting with all new tunings on this tour. We have beautiful new Ivy CDs and t-shirts, and they've been expertly displayed in a box behind the soundboard.
All right.
When I rock, I go for it.
Well, in the new studio, it's 10:30 at night, and our tour bus is here to take us on our Midwest tour. And finally, after 7 years, I've got my tour bus. Let's take a look. Hey. First tour bus.
Here, actually, morning.
This is going to be where I sleep. Woo! Tour bus. You wanted it, you got it. Well, it was fun while it lasted. Seeing as I'm never on the video.
Collaborating with Adam, you were always going to laugh. Collaborating with Adam was like being thrown on a wild horse, and the thing just starts galloping. It takes off. As soon as you started, he was off to the races, and you just held on to him to not get thrown off. It was exciting and inspiring.
And also Adam always did what he wanted to do. There was no compromise whatsoever. That was his MO in life. No compromise. No compromise in terms of artistic freedom, business freedom. That was a very, very important point of Adam's existence.
He wanted to be completely autonomous in every way. Fountains of Wayne or Ivy typically didn't have a producer. We did it ourselves. He was a fiercely independent person, and that independence came at a price for his collaborators because he was very consistent in terms of having a vision for where he wanted to go and how he wanted to get there. And it could oftentimes be a source of contention between people who collaborated with him because he wasn't wishy-washy. He wasn't middle of the road. He was never not sure of anything. He dove into everything in life with 100% confidence in what he was doing. And because he was so talented, because he was so smart, funny, and charming, it almost always worked. And so sometimes collaborating with Adam could be intimidating. It took a very willful, confident collaborator to successfully partner with Adam. If you didn't have a clear sense of where you wanted to go, that was okay, because Adam did. But he'd also just as quickly switch gears if he got excited about your idea. That kind of spontaneous back and forth exchange of energy and creative flow was really intoxicating. It made collaborating with Adam a wild ride. As sure as he was of himself, he was also pretty good about taking criticism.
It's true. He sort of had no ego for that. If he didn't agree, then he would just tell you. Do you remember how many times he would bring songs to me and I'd be like, no way? And then he would be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, he had this little smirk on his face. He's like, well, I guess that's a no. And then he would move on, and there was no ego involved. It's true.
He did have an ego.
Oh, he did, but he wasn't insecure. I think he was very confident, and he was smart. So he knew sometimes you have an idea and you think it's great, you present it to someone else, and that person might have a different opinion, and he was okay with that.
That's another aspect of collaborating with him. It was
easy. I didn't feel like I had to worry about
his ego.
Stroking his ego. Adam, it was real. We were always very tough on each other in many ways, but I liked that. I liked that freedom of expression with him, that not trying to nurture too much, each other, and just be like right to the point and real, and
The sense of freedom that we had with Adam came from what Adam gave us, which was a confidence to criticize him in any way we wanted. To make something impactful, you have to be able to say what you think. You can't be biting your tongue. You can't be polite. It's not servicing the song or the idea. And I think most people have some barriers to varying degrees up when you work with them. Adam had none, which is so ironic when in so many other ways he was quite difficult.
Yeah, of course. Well, he's
Complicated.
Adam was very complicated.
Yeah.
He really was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy elephant to you. That's not how it goes. How does it go? No. Happy giraffe to you. No, I forgot the words. How does it go? What is it? How does it go again? Happy. Adversaire, that's right. Happy elephant to say, I forgot the words again. Can you help me?